Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Auto Repair Marketing Podcast. I am your host, Brian Walker, and today we're going to be talking about something that I'm a bit passionate about. So, as we approach 2023, I know a lot of people are concerned about what the year, what it might bring from an economic standpoint. The financial gurus, they can't seem to agree as to whether or not we're in a recession. But my thought is this: if we are in a recession, I'm going to choose not to participate. And that is what this episode is all about. We will call it Creating Your Own Economy. But first, let me thank our sponsor, RepairPal, for providing this episode. RepairPal is the key that unlocks more business for your auto repair shop. Learn more at repairpal.com/shops. You ever notice how no matter what is going on in the world, there are certain people that seem to thrive? Like opportunities just happen to fall into their laps, whether it's buying houses that are being foreclosed on, purchasing someone's business at pennies on the dollar or something like that. And it's not, we all like to think that it's because that person was born with a silver spoon in their mouth. And the reality of it is that some people just have a different mindset, and that mindset is everything when it comes to being the person who thrives when others are not. And that's what I want to talk to you about today is no matter what happens in 2023, I have no idea. It may end up being a great year from an economic standpoint. But it also may not. And like I said in the introduction, a lot of people are very worried about that. So, let's talk about some ways that you can shift your mindset and you can be one of those people who, decides not to participate in a recession, decides not to participate in a downturn. That person who opportunities just seemingly fall into your lap while other people are having a rough time. So the number one thing is, as we get started, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you some things to not do, and then I'm going to tell you some things to do. And the number one thing to not do is don't freak out. A lot of people, especially shop owners who started out as technicians, they're going to be tempted to get back under their tools. They're going to be tempted to head back into the shop and say, you know what, I don't need to hire that technician, or worse yet, I can let someone go and, they start working on cars again. That is a terrible idea. That is the kind of thing that you do that it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You do that and your business suffers. You suffer financially. Other people suffer financially. Nobody wins in that situation. Now look, obviously, if everything just goes to hell, you got to do what you got to do to keep your business going and keep your family, provided for. But that's a long shot that something like that is going to happen. And that is way down the road before you're going to get to that point. So you're going to decide not to participate in this, so you're never going to be put in that situation. All right, next thing is don't pause your coaching. Every great shop owner should be working with a coach. And those coaches are going to have a lot of different clients that they're going to be working with. They're going to be seeing the things that are working. They're going to be seeing the things that are not working. They're going to be the person who can feed positivity into you when things are not going well. They are going to be the person that can keep you on track to hit your goals. You can listen to this podcast and say, oh yeah, I'm going to go do every one of those things that Brian's talking about. But you need somebody to hold you accountable to that. And your coach is the person who will help you do that. And a lot of times when it looks like things are going to get bad, or when things start to have a little bit of a downturn, some of the first things to go are things like coaching and marketing. And we're going to talk about marketing. I'm going to talk about marketing. We're going to get there. But don't pause your coaching. And that brings me to another point. If you are not working with a coach, establish a relationship with a coach now. It is something that you do not want to go into a a time where there could be a downturn and not have a coach. There are a lot of shop owners right now, a lot of, relatively young shop owners. And I say young, I mean, if you haven't been through something like 2008, because let's face it, 2008, man, it seems like it was yesterday, but that was 14 years ago now. And if you have never navigated through that, the only thing you've experienced have been up times, and you don't have a clue what may or may not be coming. And to have a coach who was there, I mean, I know multiple coaches who were shop owners during that time period, but even the ones who were not shop owners, they helped a lot of shop owners to get through that. They know what it's like, and they can talk you off a ledge. They can talk you through the process of making it through a time where there may be a downturn. Um, if you're not working with a coach, you need to be working with a coach. All right, the next thing: do not spend money now so that you pay less taxes. That is the most ridiculous thing. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, because I am the person who did that. In 2007, we had a great year, and my CPA told me, you're going to have a heck of a tax burden. You need to go spend some money. So I spent $200,000 at the end of 2007 on buying equipment. In 2008 is when we had our 7-month-long road construction project that ultimately put us out of business. And there was more to it than that. Go back to episode 2 of the Auto Repair Marketing Podcast, where Kim and I give all of the details on that. We talk about everything that happened. But if we had not spent all of that money at the end of 2007 to keep from paying, additional taxes, then we would have probably made it through that road construction project without a problem. Now, would we have done it the smart way? Probably still not, but I bet we would have made it through. Spending money so that you don't have to pay taxes is stupid. If you have a business that is successful, be grateful for it and pay the darn taxes. That's just, it's how it's supposed to work. And, I don't want to like politicize this or anything. So we're not even going to go there. But any great coach will tell you, yeah, you don't want to pay any more taxes than you absolutely have to. But at the same time, if you made the money and you owe the taxes, don't go buy unnecessary stuff to keep from paying taxes. And going into what looks like it could be a downturn of a year, you probably don't want to go invest in a bunch of equipment if your current equipment is serving you fine. That was the case in my shop. I bought things like a new alignment rack, which I did need. My old alignment rack was not great, but you know what? It worked. Bought a new tire machine, did not need that. My old tire machine worked perfectly fine. I bought some diagnostic equipment. It was great to have, but you know what? It's not doing me a whole heck of a lot of good after 2008 when I shut down the business. So hang on to your money and just pay the darn taxes. All right. I've beat that horse to death. Next thing. I'm a marketer, so you know that this is coming. But I need you to understand something. In our business, we work with the best shops. My clients, they don't turn off marketing because they see a downturn coming. They double down on marketing when they see that there could be rough times ahead. So I'm not telling you this to get any gain from it myself. Do not stop marketing because you see that times could be tight. The business owners who continue marketing, or who, better yet, double down on their marketing because they see tight times coming, those are going to be the ones that those opportunities that we talked about are going to just fall into their lap, because their competition, who is going to stop marketing, well, guess what? They're going to have a good chance that they're not going to make it through a tough time. And then the shop owner who kept going, who went all in, who decided not to participate in the recession, well, they're going to be acquiring that other shop's clients, acquiring that other shop's equipment. They might buy the whole darn business, hiring their staff. When you do things the right way, when you decide not to participate in something bad, then opportunities come your way. All right. Now let's talk about what to do. You want to reassess your core values. During tough times, your core values are going to be more important than they ever are because you're going to have to make a lot of decisions. And your core values are what keep you focused. They're what make you do the right thing. So if you don't have a really strong set of core values in your business, and I'm not talking about some bullcrap that's up on the wall that you're like, oh, these are our core values. No, I'm talking about the things that are deeply rooted in your heart that you are like, this is how I do business. And I don't care how difficult it is. I'm going to make my decisions based off of these core values because I know that my core values are never going to lead me in the wrong direction. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about core values. If you don't have those core values, look up EOS, which is the Entrepreneurial Operating System. They have a great way of coming up with your core values, and make sure that your entire team is bought into them. So, not only are you going to have these core values, but you're going to live by them. And the people around you, your employees, your family, your friends, when they look at you, they're going to be like, okay, I know what this person is about because you actually live out those core values. And when you do that, your business is going to be fine. All right. Next step, become a professional money manager. Like I talked about, since 2008, times have been good. Anybody has been able to run a fairly successful business because people have had money and they're spending that money, and it was easy. You didn't have to really manage your money during those times because there was so much of it out there just floating around, and all you had to do was figure out how to get it. Well, that could change. So you want to make sure that the money that is coming into your business is being used in the wisest ways. You want to make sure that nothing is being wasted. And it's simple things from making sure that your cores are being returned, to, making sure that you're not overpaying a vendor for something, or, whatever. You don't want to break relationships that you've built to go get the cheapest parts or whatever. That's not what I'm saying, because you don't want clients like that. So you don't want to become that kind of client, but you absolutely want to be smart with your money. That is your job in the business now, is to manage the money. You got money coming in and money going out, and it's your job to make sure that you have more coming in than going out. It's pretty simple math. It's not that big of a deal. It's just that you have to do it. You have to do it on a regular basis, and you can't just trust your shop software to be the thing that does it for you. That is your job in a time like this. Become a professional money manager. All right. Let's talk a little bit more about marketing. You need to write more content, make more videos, and take some ownership in thought leadership. You need to become a broken record about your business. So, in our business, our clients come to us and they pay us to do the typical marketing that you would think of, like build the website, make sure that it's optimized so that when someone is searching for auto repair near me, it's coming up, in the top couple of positions. Posting things to their Facebook pages and all of this. And look, I'm just touching the surface of it right now, but they're paying us to market their business as their business. But then you also have a responsibility that you personally are letting your friends and family and acquaintances know what it is that you do and that you're there to serve them. That is such an overlooked part of marketing, because people are, and I'm going to use the example of Facebook. There's much more to it than Facebook, but Facebook is probably the most prominent thing that I'm talking about here. So many people are like, well, I'm not going to post on Facebook about my business all the time because I don't want to aggravate or, bore my friends and family, whatever. That is not what it's about. You know what? If they get aggravated or bored because you're posting a lot about your business, when you have a family and staff and clients that you are responsible for taking care of, and that's right, you are the one who's responsible for taking care of them ultimately when you became a business owner. Well, if they don't want to see what you're sharing because of that, then you know what? They can unfollow you, they can unfriend you, whatever. You have a responsibility to make sure that people know what it is that you do, how you do it better than everyone else, and how to get in touch with you so that they can get repairs done on their cars. You have no excuse for not doing this in this day and age. We talk about it on probably 70% of our podcast episodes that, you have a television production studio in your pocket. That is your cell phone. You have no excuse. YouTube is your own television station that you get to create. Social media is the same way. Short format video, we talked about that on an episode recently that you should go listen to. It is so easy for you now to let people know what it is that you do. And yeah, there's a lot of value in putting it out on your business's Facebook page, but in marketing, you got to get people to know, like, and trust you. Well, you've already got a huge network of people that know, like, and trust you, that are your friends and your family and your acquaintances. Are you telling them what it is that you do on a regular basis? You have got to do that. All right. The next thing you need to do is go all in on creating an amazing customer experience. I'm not talking about just good enough. I'm not talking about just being nice to people when they come in. I'm talking about blowing them away with something that they remember, that when they go home, they tell their significant other, you will not believe the way they, the experience that I had at the auto repair shop today. They're telling their friends, they're telling their coworkers, because they just got blown away by such an amazing customer experience. This is the kind of thing that when you do that, if you manage your money well and you provide a great customer experience, it doesn't matter how bad the economy gets, you are going to thrive. So you have got to do that. We did a podcast episode on that where we talk about the over-the-top customer experience. It's episode 11. If you go to shopmarketingpros.com/podcast and scroll down to episode 11, or just in your podcast listening app, it is the podcast titled, Is It Customer Service or Is It Marketing? And listen to that and get some ideas about how you can provide that great customer experience. You have to do this. All right, so going back to that idea of becoming a great money manager, and I should have had this up there with that, but forgive me, I made a mistake. You need to audit your bank accounts and cancel things like unnecessary subscriptions and stuff like that. I do this about once a year. I probably should do it more often than that. But it never fails that I find some subscription that we bought thinking that we were going to need it, and turns out we don't actually use it. Or something that I bought thinking that it was a one-time purchase, and it actually happens to auto-renew every year. Go through and make sure that you're not paying for things like that. You're not paying for stuff that you're not using. Anything that you're paying for that you're not using, I mean, gosh, we talk all the time about being a member of the Chamber of Commerce. But the big point that we always make is that being a member of the Chamber of Commerce is like being a member of your gym. You have to go to get results. If you're a member of your Chamber of Commerce and you're not participating in anything, I hate to say this, I really do, but you're just as well to not be a member. So if you're not going to participate, if you're not going to get involved in the things like the chamber, then get out of it and save that money. Put it somewhere that you will get involved. Maybe an industry association, or go to a training event or something like that. But quit wasting money on stuff that you're not using. And if you haven't ever done this, the first time I ever did it, I was probably 5 or 6 years into my business. I saved thousands of dollars per month in stuff that I didn't need. I'm embarrassed to say that, actually. I was a terrible businessman. I still don't consider myself a great business person, but I do get better all the time. I look for ways to get better, and especially since we started following EOS, that has been such a game changer, and it has made my team a better team. It has made me a better businessman. It has made my business a better business, and it has given much better results to our clients. So go all in on that. All right. You need to be positive. And I'm talking about infectually positive. If if the world feels like it's falling or falling down around you, and it's not going to feel that way because remember you decided not to participate. But if most of the people around you feel like their world is falling down around them, you need to be the light in that darkness. And you need to show them that it's not that bad. And you need to spread the same message that I'm spreading right now is that you don't have to participate in this. All you need to do is just be better than the rest. And really, that's what everything I'm talking about comes down to is that you need to be better than all of your competition. And that's actually not that difficult because, again, especially since 2008, everyone has been living in this dream world of it's easy to, own a business, it's easy to make money. And, now there could be a reality check coming. Well, if you're the one who says, I'm going to be better than all of them, you're going to do really well. So be infectiously positive. And then the last thing is be generous. You don't want to be the only person who is thriving. You have people that are helping you in your success constantly. And those are people like your technicians, your family, your clients. They are helping you to be successful in a time where it may be difficult to be successful. And you need to be generous with those people. Don't let your technicians suffer and be being paid less than they're worth if your business is thriving through a downturn. Everyone should share in that success. And I say your technicians, I'm talking about your technicians, your service writers, everyone. You need you could turn this into a kind of a selfish thing, honestly. You need the other people around you to be having success. You need to see that. You need to surround yourself with other people who have decided, I'm not going to participate in a recession or a downturn or whatever you want to call it. They have said, I'm going to create my own economy. And that's exactly what your service advisors and your technicians and your parts people and all of those people are doing when they align themselves with you. And that's exactly what your service advisors, your technicians, your service advisors, all of these people are doing when they align themselves with you, is they are saying, I'm going to surround myself with people that they refuse to take part in this. Because the rest of the world, they may be struggling right now, but my family isn't going to. And that's the way that you need to look at it with your team, your own family, your vendors, like all of the people that you are associated with. Don't try to put yourself out there on an island and be the only person who's having success during this time, because it doesn't work like that. There is a thing in this world called the law of reciprocity, and it is much more real than you would think. So be generous. Be generous with the nonprofits in your area that need it. Be generous with your church. Be generous with your kids. And I know I'm just kind of rambling at this point, but I really want you to understand the power in generosity also. So again, it's not just about having money when it comes to having those opportunities that magically seem to fall into your lap. It is about having the right mindset. And that's what this podcast is all about, is about having the right mindset. And I really want to make sure that you are having that mindset to where you can succeed when others may not. So thanks again for listening to another episode of the Auto Repair Marketing Podcast. If you want to get in touch with us, you can email us at podcast@shopmarketingpros.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on the web at shopmarketingpros.com. I did write a book that you can find on Amazon called the Ultimate Guide to Auto Repair Shop Marketing. There's a lot of great information in there that may help you, especially if 2023 is the way that a lot of people think that it could be. And otherwise, this is just one podcast that is part of an amazing network called the Aftermarket Radio Network. So go to aftermarketradionetwork.com and look at the other podcasts that are there. They're going to have some great stuff for you too. As a matter of fact, I think that Chris Cotton and Hunt Demarest are going to be recording their own episodes that where they bring their own ideas to the table of basically creating your own economy. And of course, they're going to call it something different. But we're not getting together and talking beforehand to say, hey, these are the things that we need to say. We're all bringing our own ideas. So to go listen to all three of us and listen to the thoughts and the ideas and everything that we have, you get to hear it from a marketer, a coach, and a financial guy. And the information between those 3 podcast episodes is going to be so valuable if things happen like it's possible that they could. So anyway, thanks again for listening. I hope you listen in again next week. And in the meantime, go fill those bags.